Good morning, Kinder Kids. I'm back for another circle time. We're going to do our calendar, figure out what day it is today. It is still culinary week, so we're going to talk about an egg experiment I have for you guys to try at home. And we're going to read a book called Strega Nona, which is one of my favorites. This is actually my book from when I was a little girl, so it's special to me. And it'll be a great circle time. So, and then later on today we have our Zoom call. So I'm excited. So later when I see you guys, I'm planning on reading a book called Pie in the Sky. You guys know that one. And we're going to sing a song that I'm going to sing today at the end of circle time, way up high in the apple tree. And I am asking all of you to bring a healthy snack to show. So I will have a healthy snack to show, and I want all of you guys to bring something to show and tell your friends. I want to know what you brought. If it was something you had to make or not, that's okay. I mean, goldfish are not horrible for you, right? You could bring goldfish. So yeah, I'm excited to see what you bring. So let's get started with calendar. Days of the week. Days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. So there's always stay at home Saturday, stay at home Sunday. Monday is our first school week. Yesterday was Tuesday. That makes today Wacky Wednesday. Today is Wacky Wednesday. And like I said earlier, it's still culinary week, so we're in the kitchen a lot this week. We're asking a lot of questions about how things are used, hopefully, and we're helping to make things that we can that's safe for us to do. So today is Wednesday for culinary week. It is still April. And the date today, the number for today is 8, 2020. So let's get started with our book, Strega Nona. And we always point out when it's earned some sort of medal, right? We know that it's probably a very good story. It earned a prize, it earned an award. Strega Nona, and this is written and illustrated by Tommy DePaola. That means that they wrote and drew the pictures. In a town of Calabria, a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. So there's their town. And everyone kind of whispers about Strega Nona because maybe she's a little different. So they go pss, 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 as she walks by. But at the end of the day, if they have a problem, if they need help, Strega Nona is the one they turn to. She could cure a headache with oil and water and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands. And she was very good at getting rid of warts. Warts are like bumps on your skin. Sometimes people don't like them there, so they like to get rid of them. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the town square. So she lived by herself, but she was getting a little older, and she needed help. So she's asking the town for help. And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, went to see her. "Anthony," said Strega Nona, "you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch the water. For this, I will give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and food to eat." "Oh, grazie," said Big Anthony. That's thank you in Italian. "The one thing you must never do," said Strega Nona, "is touch the pasta pot. It is very, very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it." "Oh, see, yes," said Big Anthony. And so the days went by. Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. And Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had food to eat. One evening when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. So peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. So she gave Big Anthony, all these jobs to do and said, I'll feed you, I'll pay you, you can sleep here, just don't touch the pasta pot. Now, we all know what's probably going to happen, right? Can you guess? If you were Big Anthony, would you touch that pasta pot? Yes or no? Be honest. I might want to. When someone tells me don't touch it, I kind of always want to touch it, huh? But let's see, because sometimes there's a reason people say things. Just like there's a reason we always have rules at school and rules at home, right? So let's see what happens. She sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry, it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Then Strega Nona sang, enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. How wonderful, Big Anthony said. That's a magic pasta pot for sure. Remember, Big Anthony was peeking through the window. Right? He was doing chores and he heard Strega Nona and he peeked through the window and saw this. Strega Nona called for Big Anthony in for supper, but too bad for Big Anthony because he didn't get to see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the magic pasta pot. 1, 2, 3. So Big Anthony watched through the window and saw how she sang to her pasta pot to make it start cooking. And she sang again to make it stop. But then he left before she blew 3 magic kisses. I smell trouble. And this is what happened. The next day when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everyone about the pasta pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly. A pot that cooked all by itself? You'd better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony, they said. Such a lie. And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. I'll show them, he said to himself. Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook, and then they'll be sorry. That day came sooner than even Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, Anthony, I must go over the mountain to the next town to see my friend, Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden. Feed the goat and milk her. And for your lunch, there is some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, don't touch the pasta pot. Oh, yes, yes, Strega Nona, said Big Anthony. But inside, he was thinking, this is my chance. Oh, no, you guys, I think he's going to touch the pasta pot. What do you think? Uh-oh, I don't know about this. As soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside. He pulled the pasta pot off the shelf and put it on the floor. Now, let's see if I can remember the words, said Big Anthony. And Big Anthony sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry, it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with pasta. Aha, said Big Anthony, and he ran to the town square. He jumped on the fountain and shouted, everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pasta pot work. And of course, everyone laughed, but they ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls. And sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's, the pasta pot was so full, it was beginning to overflow. So there they are. They think it's silly, but here they come. And it's true. The pot is boiling with a bunch of pasta in it. Big Anthony was a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls. There was more than enough for all the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 and 3 helpings, but the pot was never empty. So this magic pasta pot just keeps going and going. Which is a good thing, right? To be able to feed everyone. But he didn't ask Strega Nona for permission. And in fact, Strega Nona told him specifically, don't touch the pasta pot, excuse me. So I think Big Anthony better fix his wrongdoings here. When everyone had their fill, Big Anthony sang, "Enough, enough, my pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down, my pot of clay, until I'm hungry another day." But he did not blow the 3 kisses. Remember, he didn't see that part. So he went outside to the applause of the crowd, and Big Anthony was taking a bow. And he was so busy listening to the compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was still boiling. Until a sister from the convent said, "Oh, Big Anthony, look!" And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house, and it was even coming out the door. So since he didn't blow his magical 3 kisses, the pasta is continuing to cook. He didn't see that he had to do that. And now pasta is coming out of his front door. That's a lot of pasta. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept boiling. And he took the pot off the floor, but pasta just kept pouring from it. And Big Anthony grabbed a cover and put it on the pot and sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover, and Big Anthony as well, and spilled on the floor of Strega Nona's house. Oh, heavens, what would you do? What would you do if you were in a troublesome situation like this? Would you start eating the pasta? Would you start trying to throw it away? Would you go find Strega Nona for help and be honest? This is quite a problem. "Stop!" yelled Big Anthony. But the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. It was coming out the windows and through the doors, and the pot kept on boiling. The townspeople began to worry. "Do something, Big Anthony," they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without those 3 kisses, it did no good. And by this time, pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. It's like a lava flow of pasta. Wow. That's crazy. People are running away. Oh no. "We must protect our town from the pasta," shouted the mayor. "Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to make a barricade." But even that didn't work. The pot kept bubbling and the pasta kept coming. A barricade is to block something, right? If you want to block your door, and please don't do this to Mom and Dad, but if you ever want to block your door, you would put like your dresser in front of it, maybe your bed in front of it, anything heavy you can find to barricade your door. Barricade. Try to say it. Barricade. That's a new word. Oh, I didn't show you the pictures. I'm sorry. So here they are. Their barricade, their block is over here. See, they're grabbing everything they can find to try to block the spaghetti from coming. Oh, that pasta. "We're lost," said the people, and the priest and the sisters of the convent began to pray. "The pasta will cover our entire town," they cried. And it certainly would have had Strega Nona not come down the road. Home from her visit, she didn't have to look twice to know what was happening. So Strega Nona is coming back from visiting her friend Strega Amelia, right? And so she sees what's going on and she knows exactly what happened. She sang the magic song and she blew 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt, a stop. Oh, grazie, thank you, Strega Nona, the people cried. But then they turned to poor Big Anthony. String 'em up, the town shouted. They were mad with Big Anthony. He caused quite a ruckus. He caused quite a problem. There's pasta all over their town. Their town was almost covered in pasta. Now wait, said Strega Nona. The punishment must fit the crime. And she took a fork from the lady standing nearby and handed it to Anthony. All right, Anthony, you wanted pasta from my magic pasta pot, said Strega Nona, and I want to sleep in my little bed tonight, so start eating. Strega Nona said his punishment had to fit the crime. Sometimes Miss Kelly says we have consequences for our actions, and that means the same thing. Like if we're lined up ready to go outside and I say 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, and you do not reply with 1, 2, eyes on you, and if you're not paying attention, your consequence is usually to go to the end of the line. So there's always consequences for our actions. Consequences could be good, right? Maybe we earn a sticker, or we get to be in the front of the line when we help clean up the most. Consequences could sometimes be negative or bad when we're not being a great listener, we're breaking the rules when we know them, things like that. Consequences for our actions. So poor Big Anthony has to eat all this pasta. And he did. Oh, poor Big Anthony. Look at his belly. I don't think he'll touch her magic pasta pot again. Consequences are there to teach us a lesson, and I think this worked for Big Anthony. And it looks like Strega Nona got to sleep in her bed tonight, and poor Big Anthony has a big old belly. The end. I hope you guys liked it. This was a story that I loved when I was young, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I love pasta, so, right? All right, so next we are going to sing Way Up High in the Apple Tree. I hope you guys know this song, and if you don't, we're going to learn it. And then we'll sing this song also at our Zoom call later. So practice it a couple times, and you can sing it with me a little bit later on. Okay, ready? Way up high in the apple tree, juicy red apple smiled down at me. Well, I shook that tree as hard as I could, and down came the apples. Were they good? Let's do it again. Way up high in the apple tree, juicy red apple smiled down at me. I shook that tree as hard as I could, and down came the apples. Were they good? Awesome. So I want you to practice that a couple times before later. And I have notes here today, so I don't forget anything, you guys. So I'm sorry if I keep looking down. We're going to read Pie in the Sky, Bob Books, number 3 and 4, which is Dot and Mac. We'll sing our apple tree song. And today I'm also sending you an egg experiment. So after you watch Circle Time today, there should be another video for you. And it's an experiment to see how strong eggs are. Now, we think of eggs as being really fragile, but I put them to the test. And so I want you to take a look at the video. And then if you use eggs for cooking, or if mom and dad are using eggs for cooking during the week, you can save your shells and wash them so they're nice and clean, rinse them off, let them dry, and then try the egg experiment. After your egg experiment, if you have leftover smushed shells, what you could also do is use those shells to glue on paper and make a mosaic. So not only is this a science project, but it's also art. Fun! And it's related to Culinary Week because we're using food. Good day, isn't it? All right, I can't wait to see you later. And I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. Stay healthy, stay inside, keep washing your hands, and I will see you soon. Bye.